The economy of Thailand. Thailand is a constitutional monarchy with a monarch as the head of state. The government of Thailand is composed of three branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. The country is ruled by a succession of military leaders. Thailand is located in Southeast Asia. Major cities include Bangkok with a population of 10.539 million people, making it a leader in population by a large margin, with second place going to Nonthaburi with a population of 254,375. The country emerged as a modern nation-state after the foundation of the Chakri dynasty and the city of Bangkok in 1782. The revolution of 1932 brought an end to the absolute monarchy and replaced it with a constitutional monarchy. Thailand has so far had 17 constitutions, but has kept the same structure for the most part. As for recent revolutions, from May 2014 until July 2019, Thailand was ruled by a military junta, the National Council for Peace and Order, which partially repealed the 2007 constitution, declared martial law and nationwide curfew, banned political gatherings, arrested and detained politicians and anti-coup activists, imposed internet censorship, and taken control of the media. To combat this, Thailand held the 2019 Thai general election to help support a spread of opinion across many political parties vying to be in government. Thailand participates fully in international and regional organizations. It has developed close ties with other ASEAN members, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and others. But since the military coup of May 2014, Thailand's global reputation has plunged. There are also disputes concerning parts of the border with Laos that are undefined. Also, parts of the maritime border with Cambodia are disputed, along with sporadic conflict with Myanmar over alignment of border. The corporate income tax rate is 20%. A foreign company not carrying on business in Thailand is subject to a final withholding tax on certain types of assessable income paid from or in Thailand. Thailand's GDP is 543,548,969 million. The consumption is 66.2, the investment is 1.5, the government spending is 19.1. The top three imports include crude petroleum, integrated circuits, and petroleum gas. The top three exports include office machine parts, cars, and integrated circuits. The GDP of Thailand promotes a stable and growing economy. The stabilized numbers in the consumption, investment, and government spending point towards a countrywide growth. Also, the net exports promote growth as well, with the exports outweighing the countrywide imports. Thailand's GNP is $505.27. Its GNP per capita is $7,260. Thailand's growth rate has dropped since 1970, where it reached a whopping 11.408%, but has now dropped to 2.355% in 2019. The country's real GDP per person has raised since 1970, where it was 192.128, but it's now reached 7,806 in 2019. Thailand's CPI has gone in the positive direction. When in 1970 it was negative 12.776, but it's now reached 113.266. The inflation rate in Thailand has remained fairly stable, where it's at 0.707% in 2019. Thailand does have a central bank. The Bank of Thailand was first set up as the Thai National Banking Bureau. The Bank of Thailand Act was promulgated on 28th of April 1942, vesting upon the Bank of Thailand the responsibility for all central banking functions. The Bank of Thailand started operations on December 10th, 1942. Currency fluctuations have been inevitable as the Bank of Thailand has adopted the managed float exchange rate regime, letting the baht reflect economic conditions and allowing the market forces to determine value of the baht without fixing the exchange rate at any particular level with any single foreign currency. Concerning Thailand's measures of well-being, the HDI is 0.777. The doctors per 1,000 equals 0.8. The income share held by the lowest 20% is 7.2%. The highest 20% holds 44.0%. The top 10% holds 28.2%, and finally, the top 1% holds 20.6%. The mobile phones per capita is 185.69, and the internet access percentage is about 65%. An important metric that I found was Thailand's unemployment rate, which is 0.75%. An interesting metric that I found was the CO2 emissions reaching 4.1, on par with some bigger countries than Thailand itself. After researching the economy of Thailand, I found that Thailand has an abundant amount of natural resources, improved IT networks, a skilled workforce, modern transportation and communication facilities that would provide the best of business and living conditions. It would also provide for an attractive investment opportunities for foreigners. Although political freedom may be a problem in this country, a company like Telemericor would thrive in its economy, perfect for large corporations. Thank you for listening, and I hope you bring Telemericor to Thailand.